Blah, 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 blah. Hello, peoples. Barton Lynch here, the Stoked Bloke, with my cohort Peter King. We're coming to you live from the Pipeline Studios. Pipeline is just right there. Literally, what do you call that, 50 metres?
What's a meter?
A yard. 50 yards. The 50-yard line.
It might be 65 yards, but it is the 50-yard line in terms of the middle of the field.
Yeah,
yes, I get
right
the reference.
There. And we're right there, and we're going to be here all winter. We're going to be coming to you, covering days when the surf's pumping, covering events, and continuing to do the Stoked Bloke podcast. So thank you very much to A New Earth Project and the Pipeline Studios for supporting surfing, supporting me, supporting the Stoked Bloke, and supporting the environment. The goals and ambitions of A New Earth Project are something we can all get behind and something I'm very proud to be a part of, PK. Social media. Everybody's their own editor. Everyone's their own publisher. You don't need the quality of things that we used to think you needed. People can shoot things on their telephone. It becomes viral. So we live in times where the opportunity to promote and grow yourself and your own opportunities is in your hands, mate.
And actually, right now, if you film with your iPhone, the social media platforms that are currently favored,
yes,
super promote that content. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, that's...
If we shot this all on the iPhone, we would get, on social media, it would register in the algorithm as it would open it up to more of your followers to see it. But since we're shooting this on a couple cameras mostly, and it's edited, it knocks it down a bit. But yes,
and that's
you're right.
what I've heard.
They're trying to empower the phone, the personal shot.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go through a brief history of social media at some point. Do you remember, Tom, were you on MySpace? I doubt
I do remember MySpace. I remember my daughter as a teenager having MySpace, and that being the first sort of introduction to the potential of social media.
The internet wasn't fast. There was a lot of dial-up. You remember dial-up?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's right.
Which brings me to the lack of support from the, let's call them the major surf community. The BL Blastoff is for kids, to promote kids. I doubt that you're giving Brad Gerlach to judge money.
I don't know. And everyone comes together to kind of help the kids out, exactly. And they do it to support the kids and the future of surfing.
So current legends, former world champions, people coming together to help the kids. And tell me a little bit about the negative response you got from some of the world social media surfing platforms that were not helpful to promote this good thing for kids.
Yeah, and it's it's disappointing to me. As you know, PK, I'm not getting rich off doing the blast off. It's a labour of love. It's something that I started with the motivation of my father's swim race, and he started a swim race the year before he died in 1974. That still runs to this day. And he's been dead all that time, and there's still this legacy that he left his community. And I got injured, and I thought, it'd be wonderful if I could do something similar to Dad in surfing that was a legacy that I could contribute to the development of our sport and culture. And so Blast Off was born. So it was never born to make money and to influence this and to do that. It was really done out of a sentimental relationship with my father, seeing his contribution and what he left behind for his life, and feeling like I'd love to do something similar. And so we started the Blast Off, and it has always been difficult to get support. My experience has been that if they don't own it, they don't support it. They support things they own, and that has been the feedback that's come from a lot of the major media outlets, is that, have you got any money? Have you got a budget? We could tell people about it if you got a budget. I'm like, I just want to let the kids know we're on. I don't need much. That's it, simple stuff. And then I go to the surfing organisations, and I understand the media as businesses, right? And they've always been compromised by their advertisers, the media in general. And I've been long...
From day one, it's been that way.
And I've been long outspoken against them, generally speaking. I've never really been a great supporter because the system is flawed and it's compromised by its need for money, and it ends up doing what it's paid to do. And that's a reality of media, right? We see it in the mainstream media these days with the pharmaceutical companies. You've seen that meme that goes on about... America Today, brought to you by Pfizer. Tonight's News, brought to you by Pfizer. Tonight's News, brought to you by Moderna. And how they're promoting and paying for these programming, and so consequentially they get treated in a favourable way. We at Blast Off don't have a budget for marketing, so I go to the media outlets and go, hey, you reckon you could let people know we're on?
Sure, and you have prizes given to you from companies that are in the surf industry that do advertising already with all that media.
Exactly.
So it's not like, someone's getting some free push. If, WSL or Stab were to say, hey, kids, in their stories on their Instagram, social media, be sure and check out the BL Blast-Off. It's a great opportunity to get coaching and win some prizes. That's not going to hurt their advertising.
Well, and you're giving back to your community, you're giving to your sport, you're kind of giving something, and we know that and this brings me to a point of consciousness, really. When I was a competitor, and I used to wish bad upon my opponents, other people's loss and failure felt like my win.
Did it work?
And I had to consciously evolve out of that place. No, it did not. And as a person, I'd, say it was Tom Carroll or Rocky or whatever, and they would go out and lose a heat, I would feel good that they'd lost. I would celebrate their failures.
That seems natural.
Well, it does, but it's not good. It's a primitive state of being because you are threatened and you're coming from a place of scarcity. And you don't believe there's enough for everyone. So in that scarcity mindset, you're sitting back and you're wishing the worst upon people. And it is not a way to live, and it's not a way to succeed. And I personally had to evolve out of that scarcity, fear-based mindset, threatened by other people's success, for me to succeed. And that was a conscious decision in my mind where I went, maybe I should try a different way. And I started to be friendlier, nicer to people. When they succeeded, I tried to feel good about their success. I recognised that there was enough to go around. I recognised that the success of them, say it's Tom Carroll signs $1 million sponsorship. There's the opportunity to be jealous and hateful, or there's the opportunity to go, wow, what an opportunity for all of us. Things are growing, it's blowing up, we're going places as a collective group. And that's what it is, and that's what the sport should, and that's how people should look at each other, and we should not come at it from that fear-based scarcity mindset, and we should look to each other and encourage, and when others do well, feel good about it because you're going to do better. And when I made that conscious change in myself and changed who I was as a competitor, I became a better competitor, and I was not living in a negative place like I used to. And so I see that in this media landscape where they only promote things that pay them because there's not enough to go around and we've got to get what we can get, and there's a kind of competitive nature to that. And I understand it in that media landscape. I've never liked it, but I understand it. Where I don't understand it essentially is in governing bodies who are charged with representing the sport and the culture and helping it to grow. And so I'm there at the ground level, kids 14 and under, little grommets, and we've got some crazy good 5 and 6 year olds. We added under sixes this year, and the performances from these kids, which I'll post in a couple of days, you guys will see that, and we might put it in this episode. The performance of these kids are amazing, and we're just there to support them. And we coach every video, so it's a coaching program to try and raise the level of performance at that grassroots level. But so it's a business decision not to let the kids know that Blast-Off's on because they're getting money from someone else to do something similar. And so these are organisations that are, bodies representing the sport, apparently and supposedly to grow the sport. But if there's things happening, good things happening for kids, which this is our 17th year, we're not new to the game, right? We've been doing what we do with kids for 17 years, and it's really hard to get the word out there because people I suppose at times, and I've always felt like that, people feel a little bit threatened sometimes by you, by your presence, by what you bring, by what you can do. And so they don't, again, back to that scarcity mindset, they don't necessarily want to help you because you might take what's theirs. And that's when you think about pro surfing in our day in the 80s, it was like being at a dinner table with more kids than there was food. And when the dinner bell rang, everyone had to dive at that table to get the food. And that was how pro surfing was, and that's why the competitive nature that everyone reflects on of the past, why we were so gnarly, was because there wasn't enough to go around. And the ones that wanted it the most got it, right? But we've sort of evolved out of that place, and we see that in the maturity of the young professional surfers, male and female, that we live with and we watch today and we champion today. They've grown out of that. Everything's moved beyond that kind of mindset, and it's allowed the sport to flourish. So, yeah, I'm stoked on what we do, and we keep doing it regardless. We're not going to stop. They're not going to stop me. And they're not going to stop Blast-Off, and they're not going to stop us doing what we do with the kids. And the companies are the reason we're able to do that.
No, it's not going to stop it at all, and you're getting such great response from all the kids around the world. It's just interesting to see these broad media organizations taking a miss.
Yeah, and it's disappointing. I've done a lot for my sport. You know what I mean? I've done a lot for them. You know the amount of times I've spoken to the media over the years when they've wanted an interview, and out of a sense of, I've always done the media out of a sense of obligation to surfing because of what it's given me. So I want to give back to it, and if I can contribute and give the media a good quote, and most of the time when I do my interviews, I know the quote that's going to be on the news. Like it comes out and I go, that's the one they used, that was a beauty. And they'll ask me another 5 questions and I'm thinking, we don't need to keep doing this. You got your quote. And then you see the news and the quote's on. So I have been media savvy, I suppose, or naturally in some way have a media savvy mind. And it's, you know,
it's not your
I've
first
given.
rodeo.
No, and I've given a lot.
And you know you're making a product that's visually stunning and exciting and encouraging for the youth, encouraging surfing, and it's like a real come-together, kumbaya moments that blast off. Everyone can feel good about it. There's nothing in it that's, you know, threatening to their platform.
Right. Except for they're trying to commercialise perhaps that same demographic.
They just want to own it and control it.
The good stuff comes out of the grassroots, doesn't it? It comes out of the lawn, the little sprouts that come out of there, and you go, wow, look at that thing, that's cool, you know, and I feel like that's what we are. We're still grassroots, and we're still dealing with the kids. In week 4 was a sick week. We've had 4 down, 2 to go. We gave away a lot of prizes, and I'm going to revisit those prizes that we gave away. We started, week 4 was from the 11th to the 18th of November. In terms of videos, kids, it was from Finn McCarthy to local Margaret Groms, which was a clean-up entry, and we'll talk to that in a little bit. Got some great clean-up videos coming in. First award for the week was a froth award to Summer Barkhusen from Perth, Western Australia, the girls' 10s. She got a Spy Optics pack. Kayron De Moira, the boys' 6s from Tweed Heads, Australia, he got an Amazon Power pack. Kainoa Hijai Parmiano got a Sunbum pack. You remember his name from last week.
I want you to say it one more time.
Kainoa Hijai Parmiano. Parmigiana.
I want lasagna now.
Matthias Barto got a high performance award. He's in the boys 12s and from Maui. He's only 11 years old, but a powerful young kid, PK. Really a radical, wild edge to his surfing, and we saw an amazing future for Matthias. So he got a Hurley pack from our mates at Hurley USA. And then another performance award went to Olive Hardy from Margaret River, Western Australia. She got a Hurley pack as well. And then with our high performance videos, we've been getting to that point of the event where we end up with sort of 4 or 5, and I can't split them. We throw it out there, the public split them. We end up awarding everyone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But our finalists for the week 4 high performance video of the week were Finn McCarty, 12 years from San Clemente. Tommy Horn from the Gold Coast. This kid rips. I've never heard of Tommy before until I saw his video. And the opening shot is him getting slung in off the rope on a jet ski with straps and flying Kai Lenny style, high and wild. So he's got a big future. Rory Dace, 14-year-old kid from South Africa. Some great J-Bay footage in there, beautiful big walls and laying them down, great young surfer. Jasper Glossop is a 10-year-old kid from Bali. Great young surfer. And then Q's Euros is a kid from, in the boys 12s from Western Australia. So a mixed bag, kids from all over the world. We'll be posting those ones today. This show might come up a little later, but you'll see those kids and we're going to get the people's advice and help with that. But in the end, we end up supporting all of those kids and giving prizes to all of them. And week 4 was another big week. Videos kept rolling in, prizes kept pouring out. And I want to make a quick shout out to our sponsors, if I may. Channel Islands and Lost Mayhem are our surfboard sponsors. Hurley, Hurley was a company that when Nike sold it, it went to different people around the world. So where it was one company before, now you've got Hurley USA, Hurley ANZ, Australia, New Zealand, Hurley South Africa, Hurley Europe, Hurley Japan, and they all come together on the blast off.
In their respective areas.
In their respective areas and sponsor it and look after those areas and sort of come to blast off as one company internationally or globally. And so I feel like that's a powerful thing that they do for us and we do for them. Sunbum, Future Fins, Shark Bands, Spy Optics, Creatures of Leisure, Amazon Power, Beecraft, Mink Systems, the Sunrise Shack, our good friends Koa Smith, Koa Rothman, those guys sponsor and they give the best young Hawaiian gift vouchers for the Sunrise Shack so they can go and stuff their faces there.
Everything you're saying makes me hungry.
And then a New Earth project as well, of course. And so we have great sponsors. You guys have, you're the reason that we get the product and we're able to continue to give it to the kids. So week 4 was good. 2 more weeks to go. There's a couple of things that I would like to mention. We did get more videos for our New Earth Project cleanup category. A couple of great videos from kids. Margaret Rivergroms cleaning up their area, and then a young kid from New Jersey, Carter Dawley. He actually submitted a longboard video.
I thought you were going to say he was cleaning up crime.
No, well,
in the local government.
You know what? This kid, well, that'd be a tough job. This kid does a lot of good, mate. He's got himself working on the sand dunes with the local community, building the sand dunes.
He's using that shovel in the sand and the snow.
He was. He's using the shovel in the snow to help neighbours.
Yep.
He's collecting food for food drives. He was collecting skateboards and he's got this whole program of good that he does. So, this New Earth Project cleanup category is about kids doing good in their community. So we want to keep getting those videos. We want to see you guys doing good in your community, sending those videos in. We have a $500 scholarship that we're giving away, and we might even split that up to a few parties and give a few people money so that they can continue doing good. The other thing that our mentor at West Carter said was that perhaps the winner could come over here to Hawaii and stay at the Pipeline Studios and have a weekend away. So that's something we'll wait and see if we get to do that. But that'd be cool
to bring a kid and obviously a parent with them, and maybe they could check out the Pipeline Pro.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Just Pipeline's good enough, mate. Doesn't even need a contest, does it? Every day is a show right out front here. So that would be amazing. We've got the GoPro cameras to give away, and big thanks to GoPro. They're the reason the event happens, literally. And their funding and their support of the kids is much appreciated. So to our mates at GoPro and GoPro ANZ, thank you. The other thing I wanted to mention was the Creatures of Leisure Nearly Makes. We'll see how we go with this event.
You have incentivized wiping out.
We have incentivized having a go.
Right, okay, sending it. The kids say send it.
Yeah, send it, mate. We're incentivizing sending it regardless of the outcome. And the nearly makes, the ones that you're so close but you can't put in your clip or it don't count, you don't think it's good enough because you didn't make it. We want to see you having a go, and they want to see those nearly makes. Hashtag Creatures of Leisure on it. Put it into the blast off in your age category, and we're going to pick 2 winners, a boy and a girl, and they're going to get to go to the Urban Surf Wave Pool in Melbourne and practice what they didn't make in reality in the wave pool. So that's a great part of the event. We actually concluded our Shark Band's little Shark Tales promotion within the event. We talked last week about the text winner, which was Rio Luther Bar making the final, and the shark coming in the final and not wanting to go in because he's in his first final. Then we had a video entry from Bodie Davis, a 12-year-old kid from Maui. He and his mate Noah Campia were out in the surf, and a massive tiger came up. Massive tiger, and Mum was on the beach, and they come in, and it's that moment they've come in, and Mum captures the footage, and they're like, oh, it was so huge. And so those guys won the video category of the Shark Band Shark Tale, and we'll be sending Bodie Davis and Noah Campia, thank you boys, we'll be sending them Shark Bands too.
That's just for Australians, huh?
The wave pool. Yeah, the Creatures of Leisure is just for Australians because of the complexity of travelling all of that way to Melbourne, but
you could be all the way up in the Northern Territory.
You could be anywhere in that big, wide, red, sunburnt space.
What's the farthest away you could be in Australia from Melbourne? Nauru?
Yeah, exactly. Either way, Melbourne's still kind of east coast, so yeah, exactly, right up on that top northwestern tip of Australia. We've been to Nauru, we've been up that way. It's an incredible part of the world, but it's isolated. Listen, mate, when I first came to America, one of the funny things was when people would come up to you and go, have a nice day.
Have a nice day, bro.
And I would be like,
okay.
I don't think people said that in Australia, like, have a nice day.
They said good day.
G'day.
It's the same thing.
How you going? Right? And this brings me to my point. The thing that I've noticed a lot in Australia now, when I talk to my people on the phone or whatever, I go, how you going? They go, not bad. And the thing I get as a response to how are you going a lot of the time now is not bad. And I go,
that's terrible.
That's not good. Not bad doesn't sound good. Is that the best you've got? Is that the emotion you have right in this moment?
You're trying to buy a car. How's this car? Not bad.
It's not bad.
Well, I'm really interested in it now.
Yeah, now you've got me. I'm on the hook. How much is it? Yeah. And that's the point, right? Your language affects your reality. The way what you say to yourself, what you say to others, what you project out is what you get back.
Wow, you don't look like my wife, but you sound like her. She says words have power.
It's an energetic communication, isn't it? And we're all energetic. You think about when you touch someone and you get electric shock, or when the wind's blowing and you touch your hair and you get electric shock, because we are electric beings. We're energetic beings. And the energy that we frequent, the energy that we live in, the energy that we put out there is generally what you get back. And I've been reflecting on that have a nice day and how as a cynical Aussie at the start, we used to mock it. Have a nice day. You know what I mean? Now...
You might have just been a young punk, not necessarily in Australia.
Well, I definitely was that too. Yeah. But now I look at it and I recognise the positivity and the power in that simple statement. You just saying to someone, have a nice day. Have a great day. They go to you, how you going? You go, great, mate. How you going? Oh,
and you don't have to fake it. You just
no.
Genuinely, everyone has good and struggle things going on in your life. There's no reason not to focus on the energy back of the good things.
And
pretty good.
Yeah, no, and even when you're not.
Gonna have tacos later.
You know what? I've learned it twice in life, right? Once around money. Capitalism's evil, money's the root of all problems, you know, that mindset that I did have for a very long time. And a mate said to me one day, he goes, well, you do want some, don't you? And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, maybe you should think about the language you're using. And I was like, oh, maybe I should.
Because that other mindset is a jealousy mindset.
Totally.
And it kind of goes back to what you were saying at the beginning.
Exactly.
About this, you know, the scarcity, not thinking there's enough for you. So
totally.
You're going to cut it down.
I did it with waking up. You know, when my dad died and I was asleep in bed and I didn't get up, I rolled over because I could hear my mum's crying and I was too scared to face the reality of what my life now was. And I just rolled over and went back to bed. Waking up was a problem for me all my whole life. I hated mornings. And I never realised that I was inflicted at 11 years old with this thing about mornings that I had to deal with. And at a point I did. I became aware of it and I went, maybe I can change it. And I just started saying that maybe I can get up early. Maybe I don't have to hate mornings. And people would go, oh, morning's the best time of day. I used to go, you're joking, mate. Worst time of day. And now I'd go, well, maybe it is. No, I like it. And by changing my language with myself, getting up early is easy. And all I had to do is program myself. So even if you're not feeling good and you say you are, your body and mind in time will believe that. You will create that reality out denying the negativity, denying its place and its prominence in your mind, in your being, in your existence. And you go, hey, no, I am good. And you tell yourself that, even if you ain't. And you will change and it will become good. And this is my experience. I've done it with sleeping. I've done it with money. I've done it with a lot of things in my life where I become aware of my own restrictive nature, the things that are holding me back, and I consciously going about changing it. And that was today's one, people. To finish off the show, be aware of your language. Be aware of the things you say to yourself. Be aware of the fact that you can change the way you feel, change the way your life and your reality is with your language, and you don't even have to believe it at the start. Doesn't have to be true. You just say it enough times and consciously catch yourself trapping yourself with some negative mindset or thought that you inherited and you didn't even know you had until you became aware of it. And you consciously change that, you will change yourself and change your reality and your existence. So, peoples, have a nice day. Have a great day. Love yous.